From the viewing experience to the eating experience, Chef Jason from the Conference and Event Center of Niagara Falls cooking up a jambalaya for Super-Gras. I'm really digging that term, by the way, Super-Gras.
It works.
All
it
right.
works.
What do we have? Let's get it started because it's going to take a while.
All right, what we have here, this is some real Louisiana andouille sausage. We'll eat that one.
I'll eat that one later.
And we're going to put this into a pot. We want to get this going because this does take a little bit of time.
All right,
and
so the andouille sausage.
Yep. And you want to start off on pretty high heat and keep it on high heat for the whole time because you want to get a lot of color on your vegetables and your sausage.
Okay, so we got the sausage. I'll stir. You add.
Oh, you got it. And then after that, in Louisiana, they have the Holy Trinity, which is onions going in. Green bell peppers.
Green bell peppers.
And then celery, and then we also have some green onions or scallions that are going to go in there as well. And we're going to cook that down for a few minutes. Along with that, we're going to add some just canned diced tomatoes with the juice.
Okay.
And a couple of a bay leaf.
A bay leaf, just one. A little bay leaf goes a long way.
That's it.
All right, so right now, this is what we're stirring. We're going to get this cooking. What are some of the other ingredients we're going to add a little bit later?
We've got some raw chicken here, which we're going to cook down, some homemade Cajun seasoning, some jasmine rice, and that's pretty much it.
Okay.
And then fortified chicken stock, which is just homemade chicken stock that you roast the bones and the chicken ahead of time to get them dark brown, and then add that to your pot with your onions, carrots, and celery and cook it down. Makes the stock a little richer and a little darker.
Nice.
So it adds a little richer flavor at the end.
All right, very good, Chef Jason. We are cooking jambalaya in the kitchen today. We're going to keep cooking it, but for now we're going to toss it over to Lauren for the .com check. Hi, Lauren. We are in the kitchen with Chef Jason from the Conference and Event Center of Niagara Falls, and we are cooking up a jambalaya today for what we have decided we are going to call Super-Gras. You got the big game, you got Mardi Gras, both in New Orleans, so close together. Super-Gras it is, and jambalaya, it's coming together well.
It is. It smells great. And one of the things I like about this dish is if you're going to have a party for Super-Gras, it's a dish that you can literally cook and leave on the stove, and everyone can just help themselves.
Yeah.
It stays warm all day. Leave it in the cast iron pot, and you don't have to worry about it. It's not, so you can actually enjoy the game yourself.
Well, and don't the flavors get better and better and better?
Exactly.
Yeah.
The more it sits around. So what we're going to do right now is, if you can see that we've caramelized all of our vegetables and all of our ingredients, we're going to kind of build a little bit of a well here in our pan. And what that's going to do, it's going to allow some of that rendered fat from our andouille sausage. You see it kind of leaking out right here, okay? And it's going to heat up the bottom of that pan. And we're going to take the chicken that we've actually just gone ahead and seasoned with Cajun seasoning. The reason why you want to season the chicken is so the chicken has a little bit more flavor.
Okay.
You don't want to actually season this because it'll burn.
Okay.
Okay, so
season the chicken before you put it in the pan.
Exactly.
And allow it to have contact on the bottom there so it browns, right?
Exactly.
Because nobody likes steamed chicken.
Steamed chicken is terrible. So we're going to get that going. We're going to turn our heat up again. And just kind of let that go for a minute. Kind of leave it alone. Leave it alone. Leave it alone. And all this great crusty stuff on the side of the pan.
That's good?
Oh, it's great.
Okay.
That's the fun.
I would get nervous that I was burning it.
No. That's the good stuff. That's the good stuff. And when we add our rice later and our chicken broth, all of that will become liquefied and become flavoring inside the jambalaya, which adds a lot more depth of character to it. So it'll be great. It's going to be wonderful.
So much. Okay, so everything I'm doing, I'm not necessarily doing wrong. Let me ask you this: the Cajun seasoning for the chicken, I just get mine out of a jar already mixed together. Is that okay, or should we make our own?
There's nothing wrong with that.
Okay, good.
I mean, you can go online. Guys like Emerald, they have their Emerald's essence and things like that. They have recipes for it. But I got to tell you, there's fantastic jars of Cajun seasoning out there. There's no need to try and measure a quarter cup paprika, this, that, the other. Just buy the stuff.
I will.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Thanks, Jason. We're going to check in with our jambalaya from Chef Jason in just a little bit. Still ahead, the big game, just days away. Time to fire up your tablet or your smartphone and enhance your viewing experience. We are getting ready for Super-Gras. Remember, the big game and Mardi Gras together in New Orleans. Chef Jason from the Conference and Event Center of Niagara Falls cooking up our jambalaya today, and it's looking beautiful. The flavors are really starting to come together.
They are.
Remind folks where we are right now.
All right, what we've done is we started off by rendering down our andouille sausage. We added onions, bell peppers, and celery, and some scallions. Cooked that down for about 10 minutes until it really started to caramelize and release some of the fats. We also added some canned diced tomatoes to it. And then we seasoned some diced chicken with Cajun or Creole seasoning. And we added that, and that's just about cooked.
Okay.
Now, you see a lot of the moisture that's come off of that. It's going to start peeling all that fondant off the side of the pan, which is what we want.
Which is
great.
The flavor, right?
It's all the good stuff. It's all Water doesn't taste very good, so what that is just it reduces all the water and leaves all the caramelized sugars and all the flavors kind of stuck to the side of the pan. And then we'll use chicken stock, which does taste good, to kind of get it back. And then what we're going to do now is we're going to add some rice to it.
And this is special rice?
This is a parboiled Louisiana jasmine rice. I'm a big fan of the parboiled rice. I think it speeds up the cooking process. And that way the other ingredients in the pot don't get overcooked while you're waiting 25, 30 minutes for your rice to cook.
I feel like sometimes I'm cheating with the parboiled rice, but you have given me permission to use it.
1,000% permission to use it, always. I think convenience cooking is where it's at. There's no need to sweat in the kitchen for hours and hours and hours, and it's just pointless. So we're going to mix this up. We're going to really coat that rice with some of those essential oils that came out of our sausage. We're going to put this down, and now we're going to start spooning in our chicken stock, which is fortified.
Now, the chicken stock you actually did make from scratch.
I did.
But for the chef at home, like myself, you say these days you can the buy your own chicken stock works just fine?
It works great. The days of bouillon cubes are over.
Right.
Those salty, horrible little things that made everything taste bad, those are over. Now they actually sell the really nice chicken stock bases. It's like a paste, and you add that to water. Follow the ratio that's on the package. Add that to water, and it makes a wonderful, flavorful stock.
That's what you buy it in a jar and just take a spoonful of it in some hot water, and it works just fine. I thought I was cheating, but you say it's okay.
It's absolutely okay. And you can even see from the chicken stock alone, it's starting to kind of pull some of the fondant from the side of the pan. And then once this comes up to a simmer, what we're going to want to do is cover it and then stir it about every couple of minutes, because you want to release a few of those starches from the rice. So now that it's up there, we're going to turn that down to a simmer, and you're going to cover it.
Bring it to a boil, turn it down, put the lid on it, and that way it doesn't evaporate into nothingness.
Exactly. All the wonderful flavor that's in there, all that stock, all your tomatoes and the vegetables and the sausage, all that flavor is going to infuse into the rice, so that when you eat the rice and you eat the dish, it's one fortified flavor across the whole thing. It's not just white rice and then you're trying to mix it in. It's one big flavor.
Well, and sometimes if you get jambalaya out in the world, sometimes you can tell a good jambalaya from a bad for just that very reason.
Exactly. Because some of the folks out there, they'll cook the rice separate. They make this jambalaya base, and then when someone orders it, they kind of stir it in.
No.
No, that doesn't work.
That is cheating.
That is cheating. That's absolutely cheating. That's a big no-no.
Okay.
If you're going to do it at home, you might as well do it right. You know, as they say, if you're going to do it at home, anything worth doing at home is worth doing right. So with this, again, so we're going to let this go for about 10 minutes. It's going to absorb all that moisture in there. And then you can just, with a cast iron pot, it retains heat so well.
It does.
Just take a pot holder, put it down on the table or an island in your kitchen, take the lid off of it, put some bowls next to it. You're good to go for the whole day. When
we talk about chili and some of those dishes where the flavors have to come together, does this compare to that where it's even better the second day? Absolutely. It compares exactly to it. Because what ends up happening is with proteins and with spices, when they get really hot and they start to cook, they shrink down and they kind of pull together like this. And when you let them relax overnight, they bloom and they open up. Oh, okay. And that causes all those flavors to kind of perfume in the whole pot. And then when you warm it up the next day, it's relaxed and it's calm, and it just warms up and tastes a lot better. I keep trying to sell my husband on the fact that that's why we have so many leftovers. He's not buying it, but now I have the science to back it up. It's a tough sell. It's a tough sell, but if you put it to him that way, I think it'll come through. Now, you have a lot coming up, too, also, more with the Nickel City Chef competition. Yeah, March 24th, we're doing the Nickel City. It's the Iron Chef version of Nickel City Chef. Yeah, I'll be taking on the executive chef from Bacchus Restaurant in Buffalo. So. Oh, it's going to be great. Yeah, it's going to be fun. It's my first Iron Chef Nickel City competition. I did the Winging It one. Yeah. Or not the Winging It, I'm sorry, the chopped version a couple of months ago. And it was so much fun. And those guys put on an amazing production. It's a really great time. So. Oh, I look forward to it. You're going to be great. That's coming up in March. I'm going to try. We're going to have more on that coming up. And we're going to have more from Winging It Buffalo Style when we return. We are in the kitchen with Chef Jason from the Conference and Event Center of Niagara Falls, where we are making jambalaya and beginning to make our second helping. What do you have in mind today? Well, as we talked about earlier, that jambalaya is so much better the next day. The day after, one of my favorite things to do, jambalaya or gumbo, is you take that nice thick rich stew, or in this case the jambalaya, and you fry a couple of eggs. Okay. Then you put them right over the top of it after you heat it up. And then you have that nice spice from the jambalaya and that rich creaminess of the egg yolk. Oh, yeah. Makes for a great breakfast. My kids absolutely love it. So we're just going to fry some eggs. You have, you got the rice for the carbs, you got the protein of the eggs, and also the protein of the sausage. Everybody loves sausage. Ooh, Cajun spices on the eggs. That's a great idea.
Exactly. It kind of marries the whole thing together.
Don't you love it when you see it? You're like, why didn't I think of that? But you did think of it. Okay.
So we'll
got a little butter in the pan.
Butter in the pan. And what we do is just make sure you don't burn our eggs. Is an old technique. You just put a little bit of water in the pan.
What?
Yep. It makes it so the edges don't get too crispy.
Is this like a combination of like fry poach?
Yeah, it's called a basted egg.
A basted egg.
So we're gonna take our jambalaya here, and I like my eggs a little runny. I'll be honest with you. So
that's how people do, yeah.
So we take a bigger spoon because we like a nice big helping, and then
that parboiled rice is great. That really cooked fast.
It did. So we have our jambalaya.
Okay.
And then take our eggs, which are almost done.
And you know why you and I are going to get along famously? Because you are not shy with the butter, and butter is one of my all-time favorite foods, I have to tell you.
Absolutely. You add a lid to it, and then what that does is it causes the moisture to kind of hit the lid and come back down, and it cooks the top of it really, really quick.
Okay.
So you can cook a fried egg in probably a minute and a half, maybe 2 minutes.
Well, I think that is a delightful second helping. And I eat eggs every day, and I know more about eggs after talking to you just now than I have known for my entire life.
All right, so then what we're going to do is now we've got that nice Cajun seasoned butter on there. We'll take our eggs.
Look at that.
Lay them right over the top.
That looks amazing.
Oh, that is a breakfast of Super-Gras champions.
And that is it right there.
Oh, thank you, Chef Jason. It looks delicious. Hopefully get you ready for the big game this weekend as well.